Hello, I am Hassan Abbas, natural practitioner at Natural Touch Clinic in Shipdale, West Yorkshire. As part of my ongoing videos that we're making from the other videos of cooking hour, which we do, this martial arts training I couple it with fitness, because anybody taking all types of medicine treatment won't work until you're physically fit. If you're physically fit, then you're mentally fit. And that's why we're going to create or show you more videos on martial arts, on basic exercises that you can develop your own healthy body, being physically fit, mentally fit. So keep watching. So today's video, we're embarking on, which we're doing the basics really. You don't have to be a specialist in this, but bear in mind that these techniques are only to be done in professional capacity with professional advisors, like my own teachers, my teachers. And first of all, before I start anything else, let me thank my teachers. Sensei Paul, thank you so much for being my teacher. Sensei Alex, my regular teacher in Bradford, and Sensei Rajan. I really appreciate the time you take out to training me, and above all, our senseis, Sensei Tony Sargent. I really appreciate teaching us Aikido. To start off with, I am really a beginner myself. In martial arts, we're taught that once you become a black belt, that's where you are beginning your training. You're a student. Once you're a black belt, when you're shodan, you're a student. That's where you start to appreciate the techniques involved and the amount of training that it requires. So today, we're going to do Aikido. Aikido is a beautiful, amazing, fantastic, such destructive mode of martial arts, and people don't know much about them, because Aikido was the aristocratic, the kings and the queens and the prince. They were taught in the private dojos, but now Aikido has come out into the West, and Sensei Shiba, being the founder of Aikido, has brought this out for people like myself, a student, and my teachers who are my senseis, to learn and teach Aikido. So today's Aikido, I'll just tell you the basics of what it entails. So will be basic exercises, and we'll have the basic training in attack and defense. Now, the principle of Aikido is that you blend in with the attacker. So you're not when two people train in the dojo, they're not out there to beat each other. They're actually out there to learn and to teach each other. So what happens in the technique, you blend in with your opponent. So what happens outside, God forbid, if you're attacked, you will not, in a way, stop, get hit, block. No. As the attacker comes in, you blend in with the attacker. So his movement, you blend in. So no matter how tall, how strong, how powerful the opponent is, in Aikido, we use the opponent's energy and strength and height and weight against the opponent. That's the greatest thing about Aikido training. You blend in with the attacker, and his energy goes against him. So the basic exercise, the warm-up, is that we do this wrist exercise, because in Aikido, we have to use weapons. And what I've been training as a student is that you are the weapon and weapon is you. So really, you've got to have strong grip, and you've got to have supple joints. So what we do is we hold the joint out and push the wrist into you so that it loosens up. And the other hand, and you turn it around and you hold the back of it and push it in. This hand, push it in. And then you take the outer arm, and you're really releasing up the whole of your arm one way, then the other way, and then you go back. So you're loosening up all the time. You're loosening up your joints to get ready. And once you've loosened up, you're ready to do your martial arts in Aikido. The first technique in Aikido is Tai Sabaki. This Tai Sabaki is a move that everybody has to learn, because Tai Sabaki is used throughout the Aikido techniques. Whether you're doing weapons, which is bokan, or you can do jo, which is stick fighting, or when you're doing unarmed combat. So you are the weapon, and the weapon is you. So the first move, let me show you how it begins. The part of the weapons training in Aikido, we do it with this called jo. And the jo is normally the size where it just fits into your arm, just in your armpit, so that it's your own height. And we use this in our training. So the principle is that this jo is used same as bokan, which I show you. So jo is held straight in front of you. So whether you do it on the right hand or left, you stand with this hand on top, so always facing towards the opponent. This is bokan. We use this as part of our sword fighting techniques. Again, this is similar. We use the same techniques from the jo into bokan and vice versa. So we can really complement one another of these weaponry. And it's very important because what happens, because we learn, remember I said to you about the exercise of the wrist, we learn to hold the sword. So the sword is gripped. So it's like rinsing. So when you cut, you rinse. And this is the principle of having strong joints, because you can cut straight. So the first technique we have is called Tai Sabaki. Tai Sabaki forms the basis of your sword fighting and your unarmed combat, whether it's jo or bokan. The technique remains same. Your feet movement remains the same, whether you're fighting straight or fighting sideways. So the first move is we give up our hand to the opponent, and as you give your hand to the opponent, this hand, he grabs it, and basically just move, with the whole of your body moves. The hand doesn't move, the hand remains where it is, and the body moves. So basically, as the hand moves forward, you turn around. I'll show you the sideways. So again, as the hand is given, the opponent grabs hand, and from here, you move the hand, both hands forward. To the side, again, and both hands together, forward. Coming forward, hand up. So this hand, once the opponent has the hand, you need to grab it so that it slides out. So from here, they both go forward. So this hand, forward, and you're turning. So your opponent's coming sideways, and you're almost parallel with the opponent. So once the opponent, you've come here, and the opponent's on the side. The opponent's always on the outside, because you're going to take him on the outside all the time. Because Aikido is a circular movement where you keep it on the outside of the opponent, not inside. So you actually chop the opponent in half. Another important move is that we learn to fall. We learn to break the fall, and we learn to fall, because my teacher, I remember when I first started, I was saying to him about rolling, and he goes, my Sensei Paul, bless him, he said, nobody, I remember those words a long time ago, he goes, nobody likes to see the carpet. And that's so true, and it took me years to understand what he was saying, that nobody likes to see the carpet, because if you keep your opponent down, he's not going to get up again. And this was brilliant. So I'll show you the basics of our rolling techniques, okay? So basically the first technique of rolling is that you roll. So from here, if you look at it, it's going to come at angle wise. So what happens is, if you put your hand right, it's as if you're touching your back knee there. You do not go overhead, because you roll over, you get neck pains, you roll over your shoulders. So this hand goes underneath, and the shoulder is connected. And you push off from here. Show you again. You're going over a crossways. So from here, this is going to go forward. So you do not go over the neck, you go over sideways. So from here, underneath, hand right over. This is your very first movement that we learned. So once you learn the forward movement, this movement is same going backwards. So I'll show you how to do the backwards. The back move, again, same as forward, but this is going back. So from here, it's as if you're going to go backwards. So you're always in a ball technique. This is like a ball. You're rolling with the ball over. So if you get pushed back, you don't actually fall back, you roll back. So from here, you kick this leg over and the shoulder comes over. Again, left side from here. So depending how easy you feel, you can kick over one side or the other side. So this movement is to make sure this leg goes over so you can stand up really doing this, right? So the best way to do is do this. That's your backward roll.
What?
So now I will show you the basic techniques against one-to-one opponent, and this is Aikido. So basically Aikido is just a forward movement and taking the opponent down. So I have my opponent here, and we both stand in a stand position. Okay. So this I always initiate the attack and he blocks it. So as I initiate, he'll block it. Now the whole point is that I need to use his energy against him. So when I initiate, he blocks it. Again. So what happens as he initiates, he defends my initiation because I'm hitting him in the throat. So as I'm coming forward, so what I do is, from here, all I do is I'm going to go forward. Again, we'll do it 3 times. So my initiation, I start there, I break his center, I have to break his center this way. And I keep going down, bring him round. One more time. So I break, my technique is to break his center all the time, so because that's his center of gravity. So I have to take him his center of gravity and bring him around. The next technique would be the ora, where I take them the other way around, which I'll show you later. I initiate there. As I come in, you see what happens? I bring him down to my knees. Keep your back straight. This knee goes into his side to drive him. So this was Aikido. Now what I'll do is, I've shown you in a slow motion technique, so you get the idea of what technique is. Now, in a real situation where I don't use my force, I'll use the opponent's force. So we'll use the speed in conjunction with the attack movement. So from here, as I initiate, I come in there. That was the forward motion techniques. This is ora. Ora is to go, what happens, you bring the opponent from here, so you go forward. So this hand comes forward and you bring the opponent, that opponent, onto this side. So what happens, you move, remember the Tai Sabaki, this movement, moving, bring the opponent down this side, okay? So we'll show you the techniques in ora. With my opponent here. So slowly we'll go through so you get the idea. So again, you always initiate the move. So this move is initiation. So I've come forward, he's blocked it. As he blocks it, now this move from here, before I did the Aikido forward, so this move would be to bring him round this way, okay? So this leg comes round and you bring him round. Again, so I always As the opponent's here, I always initiate the move. So I'm going forward, I bring it round. So this ura, again, I'm going to go forward and bring him round. One more time, from here, initiate. So this hand comes in together and you go forward and bring him down. So this was the very basics. So in ura, as you've seen, the Aikido is forward, the ura is bringing the opponent round. Now in a faster motion, you'll see what happens to the opponent, how fast he comes round. Okay? So, as the opponent comes in there, this was motion faster for ura. Bearing in mind that Aikido, whether you're standing up, whether you go weapons, or you will sit down. So we'll do the same techniques sitting down. So that gives you a good idea that you can sit down and do the techniques properly on the mat in the dojo. We shall show you the Aikido and ura sitting down now. Now initiate, then and down. Down. Now, this was Aikido. Now we'll do the ura reversing technique, okay? So this technique would be from here, as I go forward, from here. So basically, what happens is that I've blocked him, I'm going to bring him around this side. So from here, as I hit, I come round, and I bring him round this way. So I'm facing the opponent. So before I was facing that way, now I'm bringing around this side, okay? So initiate, that was Aikido, set down, and ura set down.
What?
As part of training, obviously the knife culture that's happening in society, we have to have knife attack and defense. So for this case, we'll use this knife, which is a plastic knife, but in reality, this will be a very, very dangerous weapon. My advice would be, if somebody's got a knife, if you can't fight, if you can't defend, run. Run as fast as you can, leave it out. But if you're trained like we are, and even us, we would get fear. If somebody comes with a knife, there's a fear. But if you, one of the techniques in Japan say that fear is the key. So if you corner a tiger in a room, it can't cover, it doesn't cover away, it actually goes for you. So this is why the Japanese Bushido say that fear is the key. So if you got fear, especially if you can't fight and defend, then this technique is for you to practice. And this comes like second nature. So you practice and practice and practice and practice until the time comes you can use this technique outside as well. So now we show you just two techniques, very basics, on how to disarm a knife attack. There are two types of knife attacks. Obviously there's more to it, but just for the video's sake, I'll just show you two attacking techniques, that's it. So the first attacking technique, again, remember the Tai Sabaki movement that we talked about, moving side to side. This movement remains the same in your feet. The feet remains the same. So in all kind of attack and defense, we use Tai Sabaki. And this is Kogish. Now this Kogish is where you blend in. We never beat our opponent, especially those we don't beat the opponent, you blend in. So you blend in, so his movement blends in. And this Kogish is beautiful technique, which I really, it's to my heart, dear to my heart, where you take the knife and you bring him down with you. This is done in Steven Seagal's movies. So let me show you how it's done. We'll do it frame by frame so you understand the logic of this technique, okay? I'll call my opponent now with the knife attack. Same again, he'll come in, so the steps in and stabs you here. You see, like this. Now, my all the moves in Aikido is to move, let it blend in. We don't grab it, because if you try to grab it here, it can go down. Yeah? So if you try to grab it, come down, and still come through. The whole point is to move out of the way. So as it's coming forward, you move out of the way. So you're blending him together. Again, as you come in, blend in. Now from this technique, you got hold of the wrist, just hit this wrist. Now the whole point is this, you got to avoid the blade. So what you do is, you grab his grabbing wrist here. So you got it in lock. This motion, you move with your leg back. So if you come here, from here, you take this leg, the half of your body moves together. So from here, moving slowly. So again, we're blending. This hand grabs, and from here we pull this hand down. Keep it down, 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 keep it down. You can either have it here, or you can have it here, whichever suits you. So one more time, from here. Now we should remember, in Aikido, left hand, right hand, same. So you're not limited. Although I'm a right-hander, I prefer right, but we do so many techniques with left that it's like, it doesn't matter. So same thing I'll show you with the right hand technique. So as my opponent comes in, remember we did the opposite, now we'll do this hand. So you see, comes in. So as he walks in, all I do, if I do go down, he's going to go down underneath. I don't need to do that, I need to grab it. So as he comes in, he blends in. So from here, as he comes in, I'm going to let him come. I'm going to let him come. Okay? I'm going to let him come. I'm always, look at this technique. Our technique is similar. I'm in the same footing. Because the reason is that I'm going to do this technique from here. I'm going to take him down, down, keeping it down, keeping it down. Okay?
What?
So as you come in, it blends in. You see what happens? Again, you blend in. From here, this hand comes round and down. So this Ikkyo is very, very powerful. You've seen this in Steven Seagal movies. So as he comes in, from here, there, there. Very effective.
What?
We do the same techniques, whether we're standing up, armed, unarmed, the technique remains the same. Ikkyo, Ora, it all remains the same. And Kogish. So basically, this would be absolutely the same technique. So from here, as if you sat here, and this knife comes stuck in here, okay, so you have to catch the knife. As you come in, you move to the side there, and again, blending. So as it blends in, there. One more time. So then moving down. Same thing with the right hand. So as it comes in, the right move is again you move out from here, move down, move it up, down. Bring it down. One more time. So this technique, you let him come. See? From here, take this, as you come back, take the wrist, bring it down. Now that I've showed you the technique in Kogi, in Tai Sabaki, and now there's different techniques you apply, you keep on training. I'll show you the technique of standing up. The next technique we're going to do is standing up. So against an attack coming forward, so if the opponent has a knife and he comes forward, this is what you do to defend yourself against forward attack. So my opponent again. So this knife comes in straight into my chest. Yeah, so you come forward, so you're stepping forward with the same leg, okay? So now I'll show you against the forward coming, attacking to the chest bone. Basically, it's going to come down with the knife downwards. So my opponent, so what happens? He comes attacking the knife here. It's going to come straight down. Now, the whole point here is that you don't wait for the knife to come down. So as he moves forward, I move in here. You see, I catch him on his as he comes in. This moves this forward. Remember, this hand comes straight into the face, right? This hand grabs, and again, you bring it round on the outside. So this Tai Sabaki continues. This movement of your feet continues. And so when the attack comes in, you don't wait for the attack to be here and blocked down. You, as he comes down, you get the attack here. It's like bang, straight in face. Straight in face. This hand grabs, and again Tai Sabaki, bring it round. One more time. So as he comes in, straight in. Remember, this both hand is going to push his head right back. Grab, move round, keep it down, keep it down, keep it down. That was forward attack. So you see the slow time defense. Now, in the event of a faster attack move, remember, his height, his weight, his stamina, his strength will go against the opponent, because you're connecting to the center of the opponent. You're always connecting to stay in the center. So we show you the technique, how it's done in a faster technique way, okay? My opponent, he comes in, there. One more time. So he comes in from here, straight in, grab, down. That was takedown.